I'm about to put you on some serious sauce here. So, first step is understanding that if you have zero experience and you want to get into sales, you will not be starting here. Because as a closer, if you don't come in and bring in results straight away, a business won't make money. So any business that takes themselves seriously, unless they're a startup, I'm not going to bring you in as a closer with zero track record. So the starting berth is always here as a setter or SDR, right? You can do phone setting, you can do dialing, or you can do DMs, inbound and outbound for each of those, right? And typically, you're not going to make the most that you'll ever make in sales because of this role. It's the easiest to get good at, right? You can get very fucking good as a setter or an SDR rep in very small amounts of time. And you don't even need to be there long, right? I was a setter for like 9 months, but really I was ready to move on after like 3. So you should always start off as a setter, right? Easiest to develop. You're not going to be earning the most, but you can still pull in a few thousand each month, right? For if you get on a really good offer, you could even push past between 5 and 10K, right? But generally you're going to be kind of capped because you're not the main breadwinner. Closers, on the other hand, now that is where you are the main breadwinner, right? And it's the most rewarding as well for skill development. Closing is actually getting on calls with prospects, taking calls, and instead of qualifying them and sending them through the pipeline like you would here as a setter, the close is the final stage, right? It's the final piece of the puzzle. So here is where you will be rewarded the most for your skill, right? For your ability to sell. There is no position that's going to do that better than a closer. But having said that, it does take time to get good, right? You can't be as the best closer after like a month or 2. Being a closer and actually bringing in consistent business, closing consistently, is something that takes time. But when you do get good, and you will get good if you stay consistent and you do the right things, it is very, very rewarding, right? So the transition is always setter, closer, and then manager. Manager is probably the best for like the work-life balance, because instead of having to be on sales calls all the time, sitting one place, kind of taking calls, you're always going to be paid for your value, right? So that means managing a team, managing a sales team, actually making sure that they're on KPI, overseeing the sales process. But to get to this stage, you need that proven track record, right? You need to have had money in the bank with actually closing consistently for a business, right? So as a beginner, always start off as a setter. Don't think that you can just walk in and go straight into a closing role, because most of the time that's not the case. And if you get on a really good offer as well, guys, you can start off as a setter and just transition into a closer, because most businesses are always looking for closers, right? They're good closers. They're not hard to find necessarily, but they don't come around every single day, let's put it, because 90 to 95% of closers are just trash, right? So if you come in and you hit the ground running as a setter, businesses are going to want to naturally keep you on board and help you transition, right? And grow a longer term role with them where you can progress here and then here. So always start off as a setter. That's the first thing to understand when getting into sales, right? What do you need to do first? So always start off as a setter or an SDR rep instead of closer. Now, to find a role, there's a few different ways you can go about it, okay? I know outreach is a good method, and I'll talk about that in just a second and how I would go about outreach. But I genuinely think that the best way to get on a sales offer, a good sales offer, is through personal network and personal brand, right? So actually consistently making content, showing your journey, documenting, and also really educating as well, positioning yourself as that authority in the marketplace, giving out genuine value. So if we come over to X here, X is probably the best platform if you want to network and get around other guys in the sales space, right? So I would just come over to X and straight away, I would just start posting my journey. So I've got some examples here. My guy, Jack Carney, great example of this. Hold up. Let's pull him up. Retail journey and written sales. You can have fun with it as well, guys. X isn't too serious, in all honesty, but networking and finding offers, it's probably the best in the space that I've seen, right? So just shit like this. Lesson from a nobody, right? Like, this stuff is good. He's getting views, he's getting engagement, and he's posting shit that other people want to see, right? And the thing is, you don't even need to be like an expert. You don't need to have closed a lot to do this type of shit, right? You just need to be consistent. And you doing this is actually going to show your discipline and show that you're consistent, right? So the best way to get on an offer, why I would start from, is by actually growing my brand, because the longer you go on without it, the harder it's going to get. So I would start off coming over to the social media, starting off with X, and just documenting your journey, right? So make sure you have your profile set up nice as well. Like, I can come over to mine here as well, the second profile. This wants to load. There you go. Boom. High ticket sales closed over 250K in the last 12 months. And again, I've just been documenting stuff, right? Doesn't always have to be like strategy. It can just be documenting your journey. And that's what people want to see. People don't always want to see the after, right? They always want to see where you was before. So immediately, if you're looking to get into sales, start posting. Start actually getting your name out there. That's step number one. When you do that, next step is finding brands that you actually want to work with. So now that you're posting, you're showing that you're learning, you're consuming information, you're actually building your skill set. Now you can start to find brands, okay? Now, a lot of the time, offers will come to you just by you putting yourself out there, networking, giving out value. Offers will come to you. However, a lot of the time, you are going to have to do some sort of outreach. You are going to have to go out and actually go into the marketplace to find something. So instead of doing what everyone else does and just spamming a bunch of creators who you don't care about and sending them cold DMs or looms that they're never going to watch, actually find brands that you want to work with and provide genuine value, okay? So don't just click on someone's profile and think, okay, this person, he's just another business. Let me just see if I can get an offer there and see what works, right? If you throw shit at the wall, it's not going to stick. So always reach out with personalization. That's what I would say. And find brands that you want to work with. The way that you find brands, if you come over to IG, we use Serge Guattari as an example here. You want to make sure that, first of all, they've got a dope personal brand, right? So Serge is a pretty cool example here. He's making content consistently. He's got engagement. He's shown his lifestyle there. A lot of likes, a lot of comments. Let's see. Has he got a call to action in here somewhere? He's got a link in bio, CTA. So he's actually documenting his stuff here as well. It's a good example of what we mentioned earlier. There we go. Boom. Client acquisition.io. And this is his agency. I'm guessing if I click here, it's going to take me to a webinar with an opt-in. Boom. There you go. So what you want to look for when finding personal brands is, are they getting good engagement? Okay, are they staying consistent with posting content? Stories is always a good example of this as well. Okay, cool. Posting some cool lifestyle stuff. And then always look for client testimonials and also back-end high ticket. And this is always going to be with a webinar and an opt-in. It might not always be this. You might get taken to a landing page where you can just book straight from a calendar. But that's the example, right? So find people you want to work with. So I would start off, you can even start off with people you like watching. And then IG's got this pretty cool feature where you can just filter recommended accounts. You'll see Sebastian Esqueda. I think this guy's in econ. Boom. Same thing. Webinar. Opt-in. Go back to his IG real quick. Nice and generous guy. Again, just find people that you fuck with. That's the main thing. So like, if you are into econ, if you think you would do well selling econ, then find guys in econ. If you think that you do well in fitness, then find guys in fitness, right? Don't just kind of spam everyone and see what works. We'll find one more brand here just to see. Let's see. Who are you trusting? Documenting my journey building. That's a good sign. Coaching. All right. What we got here? 29th of May. Nice post. Building an e-commerce brand. Full story of how I got here. I think this is just going to take me to YouTube. Yeah, so this is just taking me to YouTube. But you guys get the idea. Find brands that you want to work with. Once you do find them, actually try and provide genuine value. So I wouldn't just reach out to someone who I want to work with and just spam them and send them a video that I know is not going to have any personalization at all, right? So I would just actually engage with something that they've said, something that they speak about in their content a lot. And I would always try and personalize that, okay? So if someone is speaking about a certain thing that is only, relevant to their brand, I'm going to mention that. So for example, looks like Sergey's got a lot of cards in his feed here. I'd say cool. Pretty nice whip you got, man. Yeah, he looks like he's got a pretty cool lifestyle. So immediately, I don't just want to come here and spam him. I want to see what he's about. And then I want to reach out either with a message or with a loom and look to provide genuine value, okay? That's what I would do. So that is how you find personal brands on IG. Facebook now is best for joining different sales groups. So it's always, even if we're just thinking of the numbers, right? It's going to be easier for you to find an offer when you're surrounded by multiple people who can give you opportunities as opposed to just one. So the way you do that is by finding groups. So if we come over to Facebook here, and we'll join some free groups. All right, so we're back. Had a little trouble there logging into my account, but let's search sales groups. Sales Revolution. We can also see all high ticket closes, public group. Okay, this is bad. This is a good example of a bad way to market yourself. I'm looking for an appointment set position. I don't have experience in sales, so I'm willing to work at it. This is terrible, right? Because why is any business owner gonna look at this and think, wow, I should hire this person? Okay. But you can see here in these groups, we're hiring one experienced setter, 3K to 8K on the table earnings, DM me setter for more info. Boom. 1 day ago. Currently looking for 3 to 5 new sales reps that can work and have a fully booked schedule. So within the first minute of loading this up, I've already found 2 offers that I can potentially join, right? And not all of these are going to be legit stuff, right? There may be, oh, there you go, another one from a day ago. Yeah, not all of these are going to be good, solid offers, right? But it gives you options. It gives you options to get your name out there. So if I was to go about this, I would join this group. I wouldn't do what D.Y. Williams did. D.Y. Williams should watch this video and learn. I would actually position myself as someone who is looking to grow, as someone who knows what they're talking about as well. So the way that I would do that, I wouldn't just make a post saying I'm looking for an appointment set position. I would put out I'm not sure what the filters are in this, if admins will kick you for posting videos, but I would just document your shit in here as well. And I would just say, again, like we showed on Twitter, like day 1 of learning how to become an appointment setter. Today I learned this, and this was super key. And share your thoughts. Actually, be a human, guys. Okay. So that's just one group, right? We can take a look at another one just for the sake of it. Let's see. This is public. What I'm looking for here is a high amount of members, a lot of posts, some in public, because I know that then I can join without having to pay anything. Boom. Another one. I'm looking for an experienced and hungry closer, so that's not, I mean, if you're an experienced closer, that could work, but most likely not. Let's see this. Pavel from Czech Republic. I'm wanting to apply for the appointment set position. This isn't bad. This is actually showing good stuff. In my previous roles, I've demonstrated strong work ethic, a quick learning ability, and a passion for providing excellent customer service. This isn't bad. It says Pavel here, but then it says Paul in the profile, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But this isn't actually a bad example of a good way to document yourself. Right? He's already getting DMs there. Again, not all of these are going to be A-star offers, but just getting your name out there, learning, is going to be huge, right? So again, in this situation, I would just join group. I would start sharing value, and I would reach out to business owners who I want to work with, and provide value, and see if I can get an offer from there, or get an interview perhaps, okay? So that's how I would use all those three platforms. X for documenting and showing that you're a human and that you actually know what you're talking about as you grow and develop your skills and your skill set. IG for finding more brands and actually reaching out to brands that you want to work with and reaching out genuinely with personalization. And then Facebook for joining different groups and continuing to consume free content, free training. Even a lot of these groups may even do live calls, which could be a good way for you to turn up and network. And also build relationships. Like the best offers that I have been on have all come through personal networking, right? Guys who I've been surrounded by, who I have given value to, and I have then been able to get on an offer because of those guys. It's like your skill set will always determine your value. If you are someone who is actually showing your journey, who is a real human, who is disciplined, and who is actually growing and shows that you've got a basic understanding of sales, when an offer comes through and you've built a relationship with someone in your network, who are they going to turn to? They're not going to turn to the kid who fucking eats pizza all day and doesn't do shit, right? He's going to turn to you. So that's why it's very, very important. I'd highly stress this. I can't stress this enough, guys. Continue to document and build your brand. Networking will get you on the best offers. All the methods that we can take a look at here are Upwork and LinkedIn. These are more like job advertising boards where you can make accounts and start reaching out to actual companies that need roles like ASAP. So I'll give you an example. Again, with your profile set up, that might need a longer video, but just to show you what you should be doing, just show you're a human. Or remote closer, helping online coaching, consulting and businesses grow to 7 figures a month. I could probably do some work here as well, change the banner around, but I've got actual proof that I'm human here. I've got some posts, I've got an about section. Boom. Showing some good copy there. What I would do, come over here, search remote sales. You want to scroll down and filter this to past week. Scroll down. Let's see, hiring alert. That's HR. Let's go all filters. Past week. Let's try. Keep going down. See what comes up. Boom. We are hiring full-time recruitment specialist, business coach. Apply here. Where is this guy from? He's from India, so that's not a good role. Remember, always trying to avoid third world countries. Sales operations specialist, boom. Come work with me and feel free to use the link below or DM me with questions. No recruiters, please. There you go. Look at this. Fully remote. An awesome team of fun and collaborative salespeople. Those are all good signs that you should look for. Sebastian Thorpe. So within like 3 minutes, I've already found a sales role that I can apply to here, and it doesn't even need experience, so it's not mentioned that at all, right? So again, it's not specified what this role is, if it's a setter, SDR, or what, but still you can actually apply and get your name out there. That's the main thing. That's one already that we found. I am looking for, where is this guy from? Canada. Let's see. Let's check that link out. Where is this taking me? Senior Sales Account Executive. This is a pretty in-depth job post. I'm not going to read all of it. But boom, I can apply straight away. Upload my resume. I would just upload the resume that you already have. Or if you don't have one, I would make one. And I would attach a video to that, breaking down why you'd want to work for that company specifically and what experience you have that makes you a good fit. Remote sales specialist wanted work from anywhere. Let's check this out. All right. Consent. $10.99 contract basis. That doesn't sound promising. Apply now. Again, you want to look out for these as well, that a lot of them aren't paying you. If you're a setter, you can do pay per appointment, but most of them generally you want to be earning commission on sales closed. So this looks like a job board to another website. Calling the sales superstars in my network, needs an account executive. So boom, within like 5 minutes of just looking on LinkedIn, guys, I found like 4 different opportunities I can apply to. Again, not all of these are going to be perfect, but just by going for sheer volume here, going on the Facebook groups and applying for jobs there, building your brand on Twitter and reaching out to people, giving out value, coming here on LinkedIn. And you can do the same on Upwork as well, guys. If you go to Upwork, filter to remote sales opportunities posted in the last week, you'll get so many posts come up like this. So that's the key thing here, just getting your name out there and actually building towards something. Cool. Other option is paid training. Now, paid training, I did this to some extent. I didn't buy training specifically in sales when I started, but because of the paid training I did buy, I was able to grow my network and connect with people who did get me on good sales offers. So investing in sales programs, what I will say is if you want to get good really fast, this is the best way. Because like anything, it's like to get good at a skill, you need to find people who are where you want to be and then just pay them to help you get to where they are. So this is the quickest way you're going to build your skill set, by paid training. Is it necessary or required to actually get into sales and start making money? No, because the reality is, even when you do come into the paid training, they're still going to make you do all of this stuff over here. But the skill set, again, coming back to that, is super important. So you just building that skill set, building relationships as well from people inside the group, guys, that's huge. You networking with others, showing that you're someone who is serious about what you do, and again with the documentation, and showing that you're actually learning and progressing, showing up to calls, etc., and continuing to post. That is just going to get your name out there even more, so that when offers do come people's ways, they can just set you up on that and throw it your way, instead of someone who isn't showing up, isn't putting in the work, isn't actually documenting or networking with anyone, right? So paid training, investing in sales programs like setting programs, closing programs, they're all good methods. And generally what I will say is that the good programs, they will take care of you. They'll make sure that if you do show up and put in the work, that they'll source the offers for you generally, right? Not all programs though. So just be wary of that. And if you are going to invest in a program, make sure you do your due diligence. You actually go through their testimonials, You go through that process with them on calls and make sure it's that right feeling for you. And if it is, then go for it. Other paid training method you can use is investing in tech software to source deals. So this includes like actual softwares where you can pay a monthly subscription and you'll just get sales offers coming your way, right? It's like a job board where you get notified. You don't have to go in and consistently search for offers. Offers kind of come to you and you can kind of refresh and they'll come up more often than LinkedIn or Upwork, and generally there will be better offers as well because they should have like a vetting process. So what I've heard is DealFuel is a big one in the space that's kind of popping off. Closify is another one I've seen guys get successful. So it's just about getting your name out there. And again, we'll go for volume here at the end of the day. I wouldn't do just one of these. I would do all of these because that's the best way and the quickest way that you're going to get an offer. So now we've covered how to actually find a role. Next step is nailing the interview. This comes down to 3 stages: pre, during, and post. Pre-interview, what the goal of this whole interview process, by the way, is to make you stand out, because a business is going to be interviewing multiple people, most likely. So you need to show why they should hire you specifically, even if you don't have experience or as much experience as other candidates. The way that you do this, and by the way, I'm sharing everything that I've used to crush every interview I've taken. Every interview I've taken in the sales space for sales offers, I've crushed, right? So first thing, if you do this as well, business owners will be super impressed, right? But you have to be genuine with it. Don't just do it because I'm telling you to. Do it because you want to actually provide value and you're serious about making a change. So step number 1, let's say you hear back from some of those posts, you get something booked in the calendar, or you've got a couple calls booked in the calendar. There should always be a contact email that you'll be given. So first step is send an intro email expressing your excitement. So I have an example here. Boom. Hey, business owner. So we have a call scheduled today. Just want to send this quick email letting you know I'm very excited. I've worked through the resources and have to admit my curiosity got the better of me when I was checking the explore page on Kayak and Google. So that's some personalization there. It's an inside joke. It shows that I've actually gone through the material and really looking forward to hear more about your program and how you work with clients to see if I could play a role in helping with that. So step 1, send an intro email expressing your excitement. You do that, instantly you're going to stand out. Step 2, research on the company. Again, if they provide any resources, make sure you actually take the time to go through them and you understand who they help, what they do, what their general target audience and clients is, and then based on that, see if that's something that resonates with you and your background, right? And the next step here is, this is super important as well, guys, is getting your actual tech set up. So now that you've done your pre-interview work, right, you've actually gone ahead and you sent the email, you've done some research. Next step is looking the part. And this is super important as well. So I would say immediately get on a background that is mainly plain, that you can put things like a plan or the props in. Like me, I just got one pickup there, I've got a prop there, and I've got 2 props there that you can't really see because of the camera. But it just shows that I'm not in my bedroom or I'm not just woke up, right? And I'm nicely presented, like I'm wearing nice clothes. You can wear some jewelry as well, clothes that fit you, that are plain. Try and avoid general like big logos, try and avoid hats, just anything that's going to make you look unprofessional, right? You want to look clean and make sure that, yeah, again, webcam, microphone, super important. That's how you stand out, guys. You do the work beforehand to show that you're genuinely excited, and then you look better than everyone else as well. So now that you're prepared for your interview, next step is what you do on that interview. And again, this says highlight sales experience and transferable skills. If you don't have experience, you can still talk about what you've been learning. And that's super cool because that means that you don't need to have been in the sales industry to still speak about it, right? You can still provide value and show that you're actually committed to learning. So what I would do is throughout the whole interview, just be excited, right? Actually show that you want to work with this business. And I'll give you a cue to help with this as well. So what I always do when I'm getting on interviews is I try and ask myself the question, I try and get into a state of mind of, I am going to work with this business for the rest of my life. So if I want to work with this business for the rest of my life, I'm not going to ask questions or act like other sales reps because they're just seeing themselves as other sales reps. If I'm staying in a business for life, I want to make sure there's room for me to grow and improve in that. So what I'm going to do is actually be genuinely curious. That's the key. You can't fake that stuff. Be genuinely curious. Act as if you're going to work with that business for your whole life. Because if you think like that, immediately you're not going to think like the other closers or the other sales reps that are getting interviewed, and you're going to be more curious and you're going to ask better questions, right? So again, when I'm in this state of mind, I want to know everything. I want to know the business model from the ground up, right? Not literally on that call, but I want to know exactly, how many clients are they working with? What do they look for in successful clients? What makes successful clients for them? What makes successful sales reps for them? And what are their goals as well? Where are they now revenue-wise in terms of, how much are they bringing in? How is the team going? And why do they want to be in the next 6-12 months? And once you know that, then you ask how you can be a part of growing that and how this position is going to help them achieve that. So you just by asking good questions and being genuinely curious is going to position you as someone who is an outstanding candidate, someone who's different from all the sales reps that are also interviewing with the company, right? And again, I've mentioned here, you can put direct experience alignment. So if you've worked with in other industries that aren't necessarily sales-based but are still relevant, you can mention those, right? So if you're selling a fitness offer and you're interviewing, if you're someone who consistently has been going to the gym for months or years, you've got so much to talk about. And that's going to give you more authority. If you turn up to the call, you're looking nice and you're looking healthy and fit. On a fitness offer, they're going to be gassed, right? So it doesn't always have to be directing your experience with sales necessarily, just in what you have done in the past, or your hobbies maybe, or the works you may have done, or the transitions that you've gone through that are also applicable here. So next step, you've crushed your interview. They love you. They're saying, Aman, we think you're a great candidate. We'll get back to you soon. Not a problem, business owner. What I'm going to do is then get on my bike and send a thank you email. Again, this doesn't have to be super long. Just a short, concise email, reference a key takeaway, and express enthusiasm about the next steps. And usually you will get a response time as well on that call, and they'll reach out to you within that time. But if they haven't given you a response in that time, reach out again and follow up. So I did do this here as well. There you go. Hey, business owner, just wanted to follow up and say thanks for your time today. It was really cool hearing more about how you help your clients and your plan for the business these next few months. Really like the idea of maximizing the middle portion of your leads to make sure we're not leaving anything on the table. So again, I'm going to something that was stressed on that call. I'll get started on looking through the book and getting familiar with client testimonials. Thanks again for the opportunity. Exciting times ahead. Talk soon, Aman. So I actually got the role on the call for this offer. That's why I was just given a document, like a packet, which I had to go through. But I expressed my excitement in that as well. Exciting times ahead. Thanks for the opportunity. Talk soon. So this is the type of shit you got to do. You got to stand out, right? And again, this is, hey, I'm thrilled to extend my warmest congratulations to you being accepted. Yes, this is just another interview that I crushed, okay? Because I did shit no one else was doing. I turned up, I looked better than everyone else, I spoke better than everyone else, and I acted different to everyone else as well. I was genuinely curious, I asked the right questions, and I expressed genuine enthusiasm. So that's it. That's every single step you need to land your first remote sales role in just 2 days, okay? Understand that you're not going to walk in straight away as just a closer or manager, and you're going to have to start as a setter. Find your role through the methods we've gone through here, and then make sure you nail that interview and you do what no one else is doing. You do this stuff, guys, guaranteed you'll get a sales role. So Hope this is helpful and stay tuned for more.